videos where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops, now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID, they can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
What you guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
Hey everybody, this is David Kohlmeier. Thanks so much for joining the Problem Solver this week. Today's Thursday. Every single week on 4:30, we go live Thursday, talk about different problems in the community, meeting great people, experts in the community as well. Again, thanks so much for joining us. Today I have my lovely co-host, Beja Rivera.
Hey Dave, hey everyone.
And then today we have special guest, Derek Parent.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And he is with Movement Fitness and also Movement Mortgage. And today I wanted to bring Derek on the show because I followed him a bunch on social media. We were supposed to meet up the last few years and COVID basically hit as well. And I found that he's got a lot of knowledge. He's in the mortgage industry. He's helping people as well, you know, with Movement Fitness. So I wanted to bring you on the show. And finally, I always thought we would have a lunch actually before we actually have you on the show. But anyway, I'm glad you're here today. So again, I appreciate you coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me. We truly appreciate it.
So real quickly, I know that you've been doing mortgages, you got the fitness going. We'll talk about all these different things. A question for you is, I know that you're big on like social media. You've been online for a long time because I've watched you. I've seen you in different magazines and stuff like that, so that you pop up, you know. Tell me just a little bit about yourself, where you come from and what you've been doing. How many years in Vegas?
22 years now. I moved here April of 2000. Funny, I won a trip to Vegas I've been in mortgage lending for 24 years. I won a trip to Vegas. There was a blizzard back east. I got stuck here. So I went to go visit the company that I was working for called Conseco Finance on West Sahara. There was literally two people inside the office, and I asked if I can move back and if I could move here and work for them. They said, yeah. I literally went home, packed my bags, and 28 days later, I moved to Las Vegas. And I've been in lending, for 22 years here, and kind of like your show, you say problem solvers. That's how I looked at the high rise industry. That's kind of how we met up. You had some high rise questions, and I was the guy bringing all the conventional finance in for high rise, and here we are now. So thank you for having me.
It's kind of interesting this trip because I always noticed that you were big with high rises, and I always had questions because I wanted to invest in high rises. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't have a lot of knowledge, so it seemed like it kind of went back on you because you had information about high rises. But tell me, so you're here 22 years. You've been doing mortgages how long?
24. I started back in Providence, Rhode Island.
So the big thing right now is like real estate in general, and you follow it. And I know every day you're on there, you're sharing information about the mortgages, the market, what's going on. So tell us a little bit like what your thoughts are. You're here 22 years. Tell us a little bit about the market with Vegas, and especially with this strip, because you know a lot about the high rises too. But kind of fill us in a little bit.
And how it's changed since from when you first started to now.
It changed. I would tell you when I first moved here, the medium home price was probably about 150. It wasn't really, it wasn't way up there, and it was rather low, right? And we didn't have over 1 million people at that time. So as the market grew dramatically, but when I think specifically we asking is about the crash, right? So when the crash happened, it was actually the bubble that caused the crash. It wasn't the crash to cause the bubble, right? Like it was the bubble that caused the recession, not a recession that caused the bubble. So where we're at now is completely different. Like people are thinking that the market's going to crash like it did when it was 2007, but we're in a completely different market.
Space now, yeah.
Completely, and then the thing with high rise, what we seen in high rise is the reason why there wasn't a lot of lending on it after the crash. Because if you think about it, a lot of them were being built in like 2000. They didn't get completed, like Turnberry started in 2000. Second tower started in 2002, kind of when it got completed. Turnberry Place, not Turnberry Towers, and all those, all those towers were going up. So they had some claims against them for structural defects, but also they had underfunded budgets because people that were foreclosing, HOA wasn't getting paid, so it was underfunding budgets. So just working through, a lot of the high-rise stuff, going through a lot of documentation, and Via Towers being the first one in 2014, we started lending on Via Towers, where that was the newest project on the Strip, technically, right? Their pre-sales were selling for over $1,000 per square foot. So think about it, like a 600 square foot condo was well over 600,000 at that time. And so we came in and we established conventional finance in that building, and then just started going down the Strip, Sky, Allure. God, we even were doing at one time a Panorama, and now Panorama has a structural defect claim on it, which know that it's actually going back to court. COVID kind of stopped it a little bit, but that's a great project. People love it, but there's no financing for it. So we just, like I said, continue going all the way down the Strip. One Las Vegas, we helped them get their Fannie Mae approval for the project. We actually held a couple of $1 million on our warehouse line. That way they can get the approval for Fannie Mae, and then we just continued on going. So
$1,000 per square foot, right? Back then.
Yeah.
What are those looking like now? I haven't seen them.
So it depends on the view. So if you're facing
Right.
like the Bellagio fountain, you're probably going to get $850, $900. We just sold mine. My unit was just about 700 square feet, and we got $600,000 for it. So we got pretty good numbers on it.
They're very expensive in regards to Veer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the highest ones, right?
Yeah, and so I was in the middle of the building, unit 1801, facing the Bellagio fountain, but you couldn't see in the fountain, but you could see the fountain from the top. But you had the pool marquee, but you had that view, the Eiffel Tower, the wheel. I saw so much, and like, remember when the shooting in France happened, the tower went dim, just to be a part of all that.
They did do that.
Yeah, but like being there, and every night was coming home, and you walk in the apartment, it was serene, like
A beautiful view.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy on the Strip, but like not in there. It was a calmness, right? And that's why I loved high rise, because you're up, and your backyard is not a brick wall. It's the beautiful skyline of Las Vegas. I mean, we have a beautiful skyline.
Speaking of the tower doing that, when COVID happened, when the shooting happened back in October, they did hashtag Vegas Strong. And then when COVID happened, Palace Station had hashtag Vegas Stronger. Yeah. And I don't know, for some reason, I love how we're involved that way. And when things happen like that, the Vegas community does really get together.
Yeah, I mean, 1 October was traumatic, right, for everyone. And, we actually had one of our clients was actually shot, and it was it was really hard to go through, because,
Did he make it, or?
No, she passed away. Her name was Nessa Tonks. She was one of the victims in that day, and we were, and unfortunately, like, it was a tough conversation I had with her father, right? Because she was in the middle of the transaction, everything signed, and we talked to the dad, and we just canceled it all out. But it was to know that.
How old was she?
God, she was in her late 40s at the time.
Okay.
Right. But again, it was, we lived through a lot being here.
Right.
It's interesting you say that, because you remind me of a friend in New York City when for 9/11, he sold his Porsche to somebody, and then he got a phone call after 9/11. I guess they couldn't find the key or something, and they got a phone call saying, hey, the guy you sold the car, he basically didn't make it from 9/11. They were looking for paperwork or a key.
Yeah.
You just made me think of that in general. No, it's definitely crazy times in general.
Yeah.
So in regards to Veer and the other places, I'm laughing because I always remember messaging you saying, like, what's the story with Veer? What's the story with this property? Like, what can, because I always feel there's different strategies. And back in the day, I used to be a little bit upset because there were people that when the foreclosures were happening, they were buying like another home, the same exact floor model, and they would just like foreclose on the other one, go buy the second home, which is the same floor plan, move everything in as if it existed, and they saved like $300,000. And at the time, I don't even think I had a home myself. I'm like, how are these people doing it? Like, and people had strategies, whether they were totally kosher or not. That's a different story, because a lot of people did some different stuff where they got divorces and they moved in. You probably heard all this stuff. But I was always looking for different strategies, and I did. There was one deal back in the day before I started like investing. It was called Home Steps.
Yeah.
This was before Home Path. Do you remember hearing Home Steps? It was like a Bank of America, right? And you could do 5% down. And then that program did not exist. I was talking to some people, and they said Home Path, which is another mortgage program for foreclosures. But I was always waiting to someone tell me some type of unusual strategy, like what they call own and will carry or seller financing, something like that. So that's why I used to always try to pick your brain. But I wanted to meet with you, but it was so expensive, a lot of these high rises. And I know there's also condo hotels where I was looking for financing as well. But that's always been hard, right? The condo hotels like Palms.
Yeah, so price per square footage, they're probably the cheapest. So like MGM Signature had 167 sales last year, but the average price was like $230. So people that are buying them for investments, they're good investment strategies, but they're not really good investments if you don't buy a 2-bedroom, because people that are coming here, they can stay in a hotel room or get Airbnb than it is to rent like a studio or a 1-bedroom. But like my clients that buy the like Palms or buy Signature, when they buy a 2-bedroom, they make money. They're really money makers because people with larger families or, like a party coming into town, you could fit more people.
So basically a studio and a 1-bedroom is not good. Normally 2-bedroom kind of helps people.
I think for a return on your money, I don't think I never seen a studio make anyone money personally.
I did some
Signature's nice, actually. I stayed there once before.
Yeah.
They're nice. I didn't know that they had those. Well, Westgate, is all the casinos, they all have those high rises that are for sale? Or what do they call them? Timeshares
Oh yeah,
that people buy?
Yeah, so MGM Signature is actually condotel. So you can own it in the like hotel, they'll rent it out for you if you want to like get into the condo pool, or you can do it yourself. You can get a long-term renter to stay there and they can rent the unit from you. But it's different than timeshare.
But I'm always told that the condo hotel program doesn't really like make money. Like there's so many fees that it just doesn't pay out. I mean, I've looked at.
Yeah.
I've always loved the Palms Place for some reason, modern contemporary look.
Yeah.
I always felt like living there in general. And I know the studios were like $250,000, but it doesn't seem like it's a money maker. It seems like you're lucky just to break even, and then you have to do a lot of work if you're doing whether it's Airbnb or that pool program. Yeah. You agree, or
specifically the Palms is really the ones that the studio and 1-bedrooms, they don't make sense. They don't cash flow personally. And the clients that I have who buys in Palms, his name is Bouchon, and he makes really good money on the 2-bedrooms. Even during COVID, he was doing pretty well. So, but I just know that, like, unfortunately, for the money that you want to get for the unit, so the Palms has a couple of different HOAs. Back then, when it was owned by stations, you had to send emails to in a circle at Stations Casino, and then you had to get someone to respond to you to get a budget. But the problem was there's like 2 different HOAs in Palms as well as property management. So it is very difficult for that property. It was really difficult to make money because there are a lot of fees associated with it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
no bad.
So that's nice to know about all the high rises.
Yeah.
There's this one program that I looked into. It's NACA. Do you know what NACA is?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a great program?
I think the program is a great program. Yeah.
I think so too.
I did a little research on it, but I never really met. You don't really see that often. Like some people know about it, but it's not a big thing for first time like home buyers, right?
Yeah. It helps. People get into homes, right? They're low down payment, low income. They people that qualify for it. I think being a homeowner is one of the best things that you can do to grow your wealth. I mean, right now, there's, people are not talking about this, but there's record-breaking equity right now. Like when there's like 89 million homes, right? And out of 89 million homes, like less than 0.2% are in foreclosure. Talking about like 187,000 homes.
Which is nothing.
We're in record-breaking equity. There's like billions of dollars in equity. People are protecting their equity. So, people, if they get a roommate or whatever they're doing, like if your house, if you're underwater, you're losing your job. You can sell your house. Most houses have equity. There's very little houses that are underwater.
No, it's a different time in general with that. Quick question in regards to NACA. Are you familiar with that program? Because that could help a lot more of the first-time people.
So NACA is its own entity. It's a state program. I believe it's nothing that we offer. It's nothing that would be offered through, they're their own arm with the stuff that they do. But I've heard nothing but great things about the program.
Is it specifically with one bank, like HomePath was only with Bank of America or something like that?
I'm really
Not sure, okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but like so HomePath wasn't Bank of America. So HomePath was Fannie
Fargo.
Mae. No, it was Fannie Mae. It was Fannie Mae owned homes. So and then Home Ready was like Freddie Mac. So Fannie Mae. So what happened was HomePath started with foreclosures. What happened? They foreclosed. They take back a property that was owned by Fannie Mae, and then you could just do another Fannie Mae loan on it and put as little as like 3% down because the loan was already with Fannie Mae. So they wanted to keep if they kept the property, because don't forget, like they gave you the property at the current market value, but they again, when the property grew, they didn't want to lose the property, so they created, HomePath and then Home Steps and Home Ready. There was so many programs at that time. It really helped people get into homes, but also help people stay in homes.
I went to a workshop once for NACA. I think it's a great program as well. They're very specific, though. You do have to follow certain steps. They're pretty strict about it. I would say kind of like a Section 8. You'd have to follow all the steps. You can't have anybody living in the home if they're not on the lease or on the on the application. But what else? I think you also, to be a part of NACA, you have to volunteer. It's kind of that kind of program. Once a year, I think the fees are really low. It's like $25, $35 a year. What else?
the problem is,
It was a couple years ago, but I like it too. A lot of low, just to help low-income people.
Low interest rates.
Low interest rate. Like, I think the lowest one was like 1.5. You have people going up there telling their testimonials and stories. And
I wonder how it is now with that rate, because it's funny. That's the one program I never really. I knew it was more for first time and for helping people basically get home ownership. But like a lot of people didn't know about it. If you call places, and I remember there was a workshop or seminar I went to, there was some booth. I used to want to find out as much programs as possible so I could also let people know about it in general. So I think it's one program we need to look into a little bit as well to
even
let people
being
know.
on welfare or SNAP, having Medicaid, it's still attainable. Like, you can still buy a home, and that's what they try to encourage, and that's what they want to get the message.
A lot of realtors would push some of their clients that way too. It's I heard nothing but great stuff about NACA. I believe if again you can create a homeowner versus a renter, and NACA had a great program.
No matter
for
where
it.
you're at. Yeah.
Yeah, but it stands for something. I think it was a Nevada specific program though.
I don't remember. I did have a question though, real quick. When you talked about the economy crashing in 2008, there was another term that you had used. I totally forgot what it was.
Well, we had a bubble.
It was a bubble. There you go. Bubble and what?
So we had the bubble, and then we had the recession.
Recession. Okay, yeah. Well, there's two different things. The people who a lot of people that went into foreclosure because they couldn't afford their homes anymore, that's because they got into not a fixed rate, but what's the opposite of that?
The adjustable rate?
Okay. I think that's something that you need to talk about and that people should know, really.
Well, the myth is the adjustable rate mortgage actually helped a lot of people. So the adjustable rate mortgage is based off, you have an index, which at that time was LIBOR, right? So if LIBOR, and then you had a margin. So let's say the index is 3.5% and the margin is 3. That means that your interest rate would be 6.5%.
But if it goes up, then it goes up.
But what happened when the market crashes, it went down to 0. So that people that had the 3.2% margin, their interest rate was 3.2 because there was no LIBOR. It was at 0. So people that were literally had a 5 or a 10-year adjustable, when they adjusted down.
Really?
Yeah, they adjusted down. So that's really...
That's the myth, though. You said it's a myth.
Well, I think because most people think that adjustable rate mortgages was the bad thing. And
the bad thing, yeah.
And it really wasn't. Like the negative amortization loans, so you had to pick a pay, right? So you can do the 30-year payment, you can do the 15-year payment, you can do the interest-only payment, or you can do, and there was one more payment. It was a horrible loan, but people were selling them because they paid the most amount of money to the lender. I didn't do many of those at all. So the only time we would do like that type of loan or a reverse mortgage is if literally the buyer knows exactly what they're getting into, right? They bring the program up.
So that's something that you would tell a buyer to go with the adjusted rate and not the fixed rate?
Well, yeah, because at the time, like the adjustable rate mortgage was.
But that's at the time, like today.
So I just bought a $2 million condo in Turnberry in 2.1, and I'm on an adjustable rate. I'm at a 4.5%. I mean, I did a 5-year adjustable on my own self. So I would, yeah.
It depends on I think what it comes down to, it depends upon everyone's situation. The problem is most people think you're going to live in a home for 30 years, but the truth is every 5 years, 7 years, eventually you're going to wind up changing homes. I thought my first home that I bought, I thought I was going to be there for 30 years. Meanwhile, many homes later, I'm not in that home. So I think everyone's situation is different financially.
Yeah.
Also depends upon the times, the economic situation. I remember the pick and pay. When you speak about it to the average person, most people don't understand. And I'll kind of make it real simple. Every month when you got your mortgage statement, you could pick which payment you want to make. So you could literally check off, I'm going to do the interest only, or I'm going to do a 5-year or a 10-year. Like you could pick. A lot of people don't even understand what that was at the time. But if you had equity, if the home went up, it didn't make a difference because you could have 50 grand or 100 grand in equity, but it depends when you sold. If you stayed in it for a long time, well, even today, the market's still up right now. So you'd probably be okay, but you just don't know what the market. So it depends if you're holding it for short term, long term. So everyone's in a different situation. But again, pick a pay, which I laugh because I remember that. Does that even exist today? No.
No. So the Nevada is pretty cool in some ways because they put Nevada revised statute says you have to have the ability to repay a mortgage. You don't just do a loan for someone if they don't have the ability to repay. But really, I think what the bad thing with the market at the time wasn't really the adjustable rate mortgages. It was like the 100% financing, no income, no assets. So that was called stated. Tell me how much you make. That's what we're going to put on the application. The 580 FICO scores, the not having a job, or, someone coming in and buying 5 houses that have no down payment. Like that really was the stuff. You don't have that now. It's completely different market, right? Because anyone who comes in the door now, you need the W-2s, tax returns,
right.
Paycheck, and
you want to make sure that you're going to pay your mortgage.
They qualify. So we're in a different market, a truly different market from where we were. I think we learn as we go through, like in what I've seen in the last 20 years, we've learned in real estate. We learn what didn't work and what does work, and then we just roll out programs that work.
Right. The bottom line is if someone's interested, like with a mortgage situation, they can get with you and sit down and go over whether it's, even though we're talking about high rises and single family homes, but everyone's in a different situation. Yeah. And then if there's certain programs like NACA that you don't deal with, I'm sure you have other people that you could refer to as well, right?
Refer to, yeah.
Well, NACA has its own separate entity.
You have to deal with them directly,
it's them. They don't.
It's a program.
Yeah, so realtors refer their buyers to NACA.
So it's called Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, which is NACA. So we should look a little bit more into that so we could actually have it on the problemsolver.vegas for people that want that, because that helps. So, all right, so just tell us real quickly, where do you think we're at right now in regards to the market? I think that's the biggest thing. Like people are thinking, like, should I sell? Should I buy? Inflation, what's going on?
That's the big question.
What's your opinion right now in today's market?
I think it's definitely turning to be a buyer's market. I think right now, like 3 months ago, you had to come in with $10,000 over. Right now, you're getting $10,000. You're writing contracts and getting money. Right now, a lot of agents are. So I think the interest rates are what scares people. The word interest rates are high. But before the pandemic, right, in February of 2020, rates were at like 5.2%. No one really remembers that because short-term memory rates have been at 2.5%, 3% throughout the last couple of years. They went up. Now they're around 5.75%. So what realtors are asking in contracts is they're asking, hey, pay 1% towards interest rate. And realistically, that's just closing costs. So you can apply 1% to closing costs, or we can buy it on the interest rate. It's the same.
So basically, so you would say, again, everyone's situation is different, that they should get with you to figure out rate and then buying down the rate. Like, so basically, would you say people should hold on? Should they buy? Like, what's your take?
I think it's a buyer's market. I think it's a buyer's market. I think
even if the rate's higher.
Well, yeah. So think about it. So if you're going to get $5,000 in cost, but your payment is literally $50 different now than it was 6 months ago, do the math. I mean,
you're talking about out,
well, over 5 years, you're still going to come out ahead, and you own the property. So
instead of paying rent,
think about it, rent's not tax deductible. You can't write your rent off, but you still get to write off your mortgage interest. You get that mortgage statement at the mortgage interest statement at the end of the year. You give it to your CPA. You write the interest off. You can't do that when you rent someone else's property.
Okay.
The only one that can do it is the landlord. He gets that, right? If they have a mortgage, but their biggest asset they have is the depreciation that they claim on it. Depreciation is the best thing in taxes because you save money.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth of the matter is anyone that's really renting is technically taking the money and putting it into a garbage can.
And
every month.
Rents are so high right now too. So like a
crazy,
2-bedroom on Flamingo and Jones is bringing like $2,500.
I've been here for 4 years. I moved into a 3-bedroom, but it also has a loft area and an office space, and a garage. Oh, let's say I was thinking about relocating just to downsize because it's really just me and my daughter. Now I have a dog. But just looking into the apartments, it would have costed the same. And I would be without the garage, the backyard for my dog, everything else. It's crazy. Like high, like 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of the
For a 1-bedroom, okay? And that's if you find a good place. 2 bedrooms.
expensive. I mean, super expensive. But you know what? Like, so Blackstone, what they're doing now. So some real estate companies are actually pushing this, which I think is a good idea, right? So if you find a property $400,000 and under, Blackstone will buy it, but you have to qualify for their rental program. So you have to qualify. You get qualified to buy a property, but technically they're going to buy it. You're going to pay them, and then you can buy it from them in a year.
That's what is it called? I heard the program.
I just found this.
It's
You sell,
Something
rebuy, and
America.
sell?
So it's
Sell?
basically the hedge fund company is buying a house that you could rent,
Yeah.
so you can qualify a year from now. I think it's called like America Choice America.
I literally just.
It's a new program.
I heard about this maybe like 3-4 days ago.
Like you basically can pick a home that you want to buy, but you rent it for the first year, and they kind of qualify you, and eventually you could buy it.
So there's a great agent out there named Juan Martinez with Century 21, and he's always, I feel like he's like one of the most cutting edge people, great in the Hispanic market, just a great guy, great mentor, great following, and his agents are pushing that. And so for a realtor gets their full commission. So if a realtor sells it, they get their $12,000, right? They make their 3%. So for an agent, if they have a renter and they convert them into going with Blackstone, the agent still gets paid their full commission versus getting $300 to put someone in a rental. So I thought it was a genius program, but I also think that Juan, he pushes the right stuff to really help, create homeowners and also create wealth in his realtors.
And you guys, that's not your program. Do you have a specific program?
So that's like a hedge fund. That's like a huge fund. That's the fund that owns like all MGMs right now. Like they bought the MGM properties. And
we're going to come back to talking about real estate and then moving into your movement fitness and the programs that you're doing for nonprofit for helping people. What I want to do is we're going to put on, so it's PETA, which is People for Ethical Treatment for Animals. The reason why I'm going to have Courtney Penley, who is a coordinator for PETA. I wanted her to come on because recently in Las Vegas, I'm not sure if you heard, there was some crazy guy, he looks like a young kid, shooting horses in Las Vegas by Red Rock, and I think he's killed 4 horses. I believe it's the same guy. There is a reward out there for $5,000 to, I think it's for the arrest of this particular guy. So I don't know the whole story, but it's over one of those horse ranches when you go to Red Rock. And so I wanted to bring her on just to see what was going on. And so do we have Courtney on now?
Hey, Courtney.
You can look at the screen. Here's Courtney. Hi, Courtney. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I love your background. I feel like that's a total, is it a make-believe background or is that your real background?
Yeah, like where you
Oh, this is my house.
So how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I say that again?
Thanks for joining us. And I was just saying it's a beautiful background.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Do you want to play us a quick song? I see you got you got a guitar there.
Yeah, no, again, I'm a make-believe guitar player.
Okay, I like that.
But it's a real background.
Everyone's always making believe. Tell us what's going on with the so anyway, this is the first time that we're speaking, but the Problem Solver Show is about solving problems and helping people in Las Vegas, the community, and also nationwide. But I know we have this horse situation where there's out there, crazy guy shooting horses. Tell us a little bit about the story and then what you guys are doing at PETA with the reward.
Yeah, so there's a guy, we presume he's the same person that's killed all 4 of these horses. That's killed horses at short range by gun in, I believe, January, March, June, and July. And right now, we are offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of this person who killed these horses. We believe that he's developed a pattern here, and so chances are he could hurt another animal or even a person. And right now, he is armed and dangerous and a threat to the community. So we're hoping that somebody can help us find him.
How did you guys get involved in it? And what state are you in?
I'm right now in Los Angeles, California. But PETA, we search the news all the time to find any kind of animal abuse cases. We also run a 24-hour emergency hotline. So we get tips from people all the time about what's going on all over the nation and the world. And we saw this in the local news in Vegas.
Do you have any more information on this guy?
No, I was checking the news and there's no more updates that have been made available to the public right now, but we're hoping that somebody in the area does know something and that we can incentivize them with the money. So if anybody knows anything, please contact the authorities immediately to let them know, because any tidbit that you might have could be very helpful in finding him.
Thank you, Courtney.
So, it's interesting because one of the things that we did on our show, which is a little bit different, you beat us to the $5,000 because we did a challenge where it's still going, where it's $5,000 for, I'm not sure if you're familiar on Lake Mead, but there was a homicide that took place probably in 1975 where there was a body located in a barrel, and we did a $5,000 challenge if someone locates a second body in a barrel, which is a little bit different than your situation. But I happened to see, and what happens, we did a news release, and 4 days later, someone located another body, but they actually started digging up in the sand, which happened to be the lake bed, when they located a body, which we believe is from 1958. A drowning person. So because of our news release and because of what we did in general, which was going to be a crime prevention initiative, led to this other body. So it kind of went viral. So I happened to see the $5,000 reward kind of when it popped up in the news, and I was like, it's kind of very similar. I was actually thinking, and this is kind of just to throw this out there to anybody like listening, I'm always trying to come up with some creative ideas or strategies. We were talking about housing and mortgages, which is a totally different topic, but how do we really catch this guy? Because that particular region, it's a place that people go to horseback, and I've done it with my wife where we've ridden horses there, and it's a weird terrain because it's the middle of nowhere by Red Rock.
That's so sad.
What other strategies do you think? I mean, of course, you're trying to weed them out in regards to money. What are the strategies? Do you think that you have that you can do to?
It's like crime prevention. Just
is there anything else that you think of because I guess my question is, because of PETA, have you ever done anything else that's different? Like right now, it's just $5,000 reward. Any other ideas, strategies, something different that you guys done in the past?
Incentives kind of thing.
Absolutely. In regards to this case, I do think that the incentive of $5,000 reward will hopefully be helpful for people, because what people need to keep in mind is that if they know anything at all, did you see somebody strange at a gas station? Did you see a car parked on the side of the road? Any little tidbit that you can take and provide to the police will allow them to build a bigger case log of clues, and figure out who this person is. So it's really important that anybody that knows anything at all contact the authorities and let them know what they saw, if they saw anything suspicious in the slightest. Another thing that we ask people to do is, if you see anything questionable at all, any abuse, you see a dog chained up outside, or any kind of questionable situation at all, just contact authorities in advance so that you can stop abuse before it happens. So in order to catch this guy, we think this incentive is probably the best thing, but to stop future abuses, it's important that we catch people like this guy, and that we also report even the most minor thing that we are questioning, because you never know when something's going to blow up into a bigger case of abuse or even murder.
Is the $5,000, is that like a standard thing that you guys normally do, or very rare?
We do it fairly often, actually. We find that we don't always have to incentivize people, because there's just so many compassionate people out there that want to be the voice for animals, and they want to make sure that they're not abused or neglected. So oftentimes people will come forward without any incentive, but we do this fairly often, and we find that it's very effective.
Yeah, and I always feel like they always end up telling someone, So whoever that person is, if anybody knows, come forth. It's just not okay. And then also, with even just us talking about crime prevention and stuff, telling people on social media, if you see any kind of comment that's suspicious, if you see, hey, like, I'm going to do this, like, report it. Just report it. And so I just saw on the news earlier, I had just sent it. It was about a man who actually just sent a text message and said that the recent mass shootings, that he was going to make it look like child's play. And they got the guy, they arrested him. So good there. You know, people just need to be more aware. You know, please go to authorities if you hear any kind of just any kind of verbiage in that way, or if you think anybody's going to hurt anyone else, shoot, whatever, just go to authorities, just report it, let someone know so we can do something about it.
Absolutely.
So they can do something about it. Yeah.
Those questionable comments that you see on social media can lead to a lot. And somebody like this, who's already proven to hurt animals, is very likely, you know, I think about 5 times more likely to go on and abuse humans as well. So whether or not you are personally concerned about horses at a ranch, you should be concerned about this person being loose in your community with guns, because you don't know who's next. It could be a horse, it could be a person. So we need to find them.
Right.
You know, one thing I want to do is, since we work with a lot of the legal and medical community on the Problem Solver show, was to see whether or not a law firm or a medical place wanted to double the reward, match your reward to make it $10,000. So I'm going to put that out there today, that if there's any law firm or medical community that wants to match Peter's $5,000 to make it a $10,000 reward. Because the only thing that concerns me is that since it's happening like every other month, and it's a remote location, like it's less likely. It's not like there's houses over there. I mean, this person is basically walking through the desert terrain, you know. So I think it's harder. It's not like the guy's in the community, but you never know. So I don't know how much the police are working on in general, but I'm going to basically put it out there for any business that wants to match Peter's $5,000 to make it $10,000 in general, to really capture this guy before he hurts another person or another animal. I'm going to put that out there today, and then we'll see what they say to make it a higher level. Has there any, besides the $5,000, have you ever had, that you know of, because you may not know, has it ever been $10,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 for any other animals? And was it specifically like for horses? Is this very rare for horses?
Yeah. So the reward amount varies from case to case, and it's different animals each time. Like recently we had a reward for a chimpanzee named Tonka that had been reported as dead, but we had a feeling that he wasn't dead. He was being housed in a woman's property or in her basement. And Alan Cummings, the actor, actually doubled the reward. And then we ended up finding Tonka. So a year after the fact, when this woman and her husband both reported that he was dead to the courts under oath, we found Tonka and were able to release him to a sanctuary. So sometimes the reward does get really high. $5,000, I think, is a really nice incentive, but I think $10,000 would be great. And if you can find somebody in the community that's willing to help with that, that would be wonderful, because this should be a really big red flag. This guy's out there, he's armed, and he's proven that he's willing to kill horses at close range, and he could potentially move on to people next.
Okay, well, so I appreciate your time. We'll keep in touch in general. If you don't mind, send me your contact information, because I think I got it from somebody else. We'll keep in touch. Let's see what we could do. We'll put some things out on the problemsolver.vegas, and we'll try to stir up in regards to maybe doubling the reward amount. And I appreciate your time and all the good efforts. And again, anyone that, if there's any type of abuse with animals,
any type of abuse,
you can always call
any kind.
911, which is the police for emergency, which they'll connect you to animal control, or regular officer can go out, or 311, which is the non-emergency. You also can go to Crime Stoppers, which is 385-5555, which is local. You also could go to PETA's website if you want and fill in anonymous and regular information as well. So again, thank you so much, Courtney, for all the things that you're doing to help the community here locally and throughout the United States.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, guys. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Very, very interesting situation.
That's crazy.
I would like to come up with something really creative to do, but there's not much. I mean,
You always do, though. Like he always does. That's why I love you.
But this is the tough one. I mean, I actually work with Protective Force Security International, which is like a security company. Yeah. But the manpower being out there, like with binoculars, I mean, like it's really in the middle of nowhere. Especially it's nighttime that they're doing it. But there's also something new, which is called Gunshot Recognition. It's called GSR, where there's actually like a video camera, and then if the gunshot goes off, it would zoom in, and they have pictures of the guy.
Yeah.
By the time you get to that terrain, it's such a weird. You ever been there?
Yeah, I drove through there. You actually see them when because they're kind of fenced behind where they can't run across the road. But
it's kind of like what do you call it, an outcape, you know?
It's just one of those things when you see it on the news. It's like you don't want to believe it's in your own backyard, because Red Rock's in own,
right?
And it's not like it was one. This guy is the fourth horse, and it's not okay.
No, absolutely. All right, so let's move on. We're going to work on that on the side as a little bit of a hobby to to catch the guy in general. Tell us a little bit about Movement Fitness.
That's been a passion project. So I bought Movement Fitness during the pandemic. So June of 2020, I find this gym, 25,000 square foot facility that was going out of business, right? And actually, it was when people were supposed to shut down, they didn't shut down. So what happened was the fire department went in there and pulled their business license. This was the first one. They kind of made an example
During COVID.
of this place, yeah. So I went in there and made a deal with the owner, and I bought it, and I just completely renovated it. I put 50 yards of functional turf, and then
You kept it a gym, though. It was a gym, and you kept it a gym?
yeah, but I made it more like it's more for the community. I made it. My vision was always community. It was never like if you look at our shirts, it say community, culture.
That's what we're all about, too.
So it was all about mental and physical health. So what we did was when we opened, we started giving free memberships to people that were lost their job, or people like on the strip that they couldn't work because they were shut down. So we're giving them ways to help with their mental and physical health. And you think physical health and mental health was the biggest thing that you were hearing on the news. So we said, how do we give? So we just kept giving and giving. And what happened was we actually spawned our cancer program. So what we truly do, our mission is, I can never cure cancer, but what I can do is give back. And how I give back is through the mental and physical health side of it. So when you get released, there's no really aftercare for cancer, none, right? So if you're not paying a PT or a private trainer, but the doctor wants you to go and eat clean and the doctors want you to stop working out, but what if you don't know how to do that?
Okay.
You don't know how to go, or if you're going through some traumatic stuff, so you just don't want to walk into the gym and start working out. So what we did, we created a free program, 12 weeks, and it doesn't matter if you come in on the 8th week or you come in on the 3rd week, we meet you where you're at. And we're all about nutrition. So we have a PT, we have a Dr. Phil Hess, who we don't prescribe any medication, but he's been through cancer, he knows cancer. So they ask questions, we'll answer them. And then we have a nutritionist who's his sister, who does a lot of like the nutrition plan. But what we do is after 12 weeks, we want them to stay on and be like a mentor to the newer people coming in. So that was always been a passion of mine, was giving back to the community that gave me so much over the last 22 years.
That actually makes me think, because I lost my dear friend to breast cancer April 4th, just made it a year. And it's really hard. It's interesting because they have compromised immune systems. It's not good for them to get sick. So for them to come out at a time like this and go work out at a public gym, did you ever think about anything like that? Or
yeah, so we've had those challenges, right? So underlying conditions, right? The underlying condition is, but so our gym is 25,000 square feet. We have full-time cleaning crew, and we're never super busy, right? So we're not packed. We have around 600 members, but they're not. It's not like everyone's there at once, and there's a lot of cleaning. But we did think about that, and we still wanted people to come in and work out because COVID was real.
it was a trying time for everyone.
But you also, I don't know. There's some statistics out there, and to me, the most important thing was the mental and physical health. I was thinking past COVID, and I was thinking more about the person who's look. One of my clients had breast cancer. Great client. She's been a client and a friend for many of years. Her and her mom, and we wanted her to come in because her mom would say, her name was Elizabeth, and her mom would say, "Hey, like." I told her what we were doing, and she was in tears that we were doing that because Elizabeth had her breast removed, and
I know I feel sensitive right now. I could cry.
like it's even how to move your arm, how to do certain things. Like so, we wanted to teach that through PT, which everything was free. Like we didn't charge anything. Like it was really to get them in. That way, they knew how the muscle worked and how we can get past it. But the most thing is after you go to the chemo, you're just tired all the time. And I firmly believe just walking, right? Just a little bit of exercise with walking, and then resistance work with bands. So just, even if you took the bands and you just pull them apart, you're just moving. We're not asking you to lift heavy weight. We're just asking you to move. And that's why it was called Movement Fitness, because you literally just have to move to get results.
And it's a gym, so anyone could go and just get moving there, work out there. But this program that you have, is it a separate program? Is it like considered physical therapy, or
No, it's more of a give
do you
back.
have a DPT there, or?
We do. We have.
Okay, you do.
Wow, we have 3 therapists. We have massage. We have.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we have 3 PTs that are on property. So it's a big. It's 25,000 square feet. You know, one whole side of the facility is like 50 yards in indoor turf, around 13 yards where there's another additional 13 yards for a slam wall that's 30 feet long, 7 feet high. Like, we have a lot of professional athletes coming through and working out and doing their off season, a lot of college kids. But I'm most proud that we have all of our high school kids that come in there today. Like, I see them every day. I come in there and just to see what they're doing. Like, we have this kid who was in there today, and he was literally throwing this whole week. He's been throwing with Devontae Adams. And Devontae Adams says, hey, calm down with the sauce. No, we're just throwing the ball too hard. Devontae said, you don't have to throw it that hard. So, and this kid is only, his last name is Church, and he's only a junior at Sierra Vista. And so it's just having like the caliber and seeing like these kids come in and going to like the state championship for football. Right now we have a lot of football, and we're in the middle of doing stuff right now with the Metro Soccer League, and we're very excited about working, in partnership with the community. So to answer the question, we are a gym, so it's called Movement Fitness. We have regular membership, but we also have packages. We have personal trainers, but we also offer youth development. Okay. Right. So youth development is very important to us. So they'll come in with their trainer, and they have training. We work with Help Us Southern Nevada. We have a job readiness program. So some of the at-risk youth who come in, and we roughly have around 200 to 300 hours with them, and we want to teach them really front desk skills, juice bar, right? So our juice bar, we make just protein drinks, and we have.
Is your nutritionist there on site?
Our nutritionist is not on site. We don't. I mean,
No, I was just asking for the juice bar.
No, the juice bar is so I keep it super simple. Everything I try doing is simple. We have 5 great protein drinks that people love. We have BCA slushies. And you go slushies at 7-Eleven, but we do one.
You make it fun? With
BCAs. Yeah, we have funny names for them. Mm-hmm. Right now we have Peach Fuzz and Blue Magic, right? So it's just they're just really good drinks. So it's 110 degrees out, and you have a slushie after, and you don't feel guilty because it's got BCAs in it. Mm-hmm. BCAs.
So it's just people from all walks of life, really.
Our average member is 38 years and older, right? Mm-hmm. It's just we have an older woman named Therese. She's 88. She comes in, she shakes a little bit because she has spotting on the brain, and she's a little older. And she says, what's rewarding? She's like, this is like my second home. This is like my second family. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how do you I've been giving money out for a long time for neuroblastoma, or I get hit up for St. Baldrick's, or I get hit up for something all the time. And we love, raising money and giving money. I'm known for raising money, really. So I think, when I opened the gym, I said, instead of always giving, this is my give back, to get back mental and physical health. This is my give back. This is where I donate the money. Look, we're still not profitable. It's been 2 years I've owned it. We're still in the red. Every month I put in money, but I'm glad to. I'm glad because I'm making a difference in other people's lives, whether it's youth, or it's senior, or if it's someone that's just sick. I see the difference that we make in people's life every day. Right. And it's the at-risk youth, it's all the employees, it's the dance fitness classes that we have, it's the seniors that come in for that. It's really a passion at this point.
I honestly feel like that's the best compliment you can get. Yeah. It's like your second home.
Are they volunteers? Are they getting paid, or people staff-wise?
Members?
So the members pay, but we have no volunteers. I pay for it, all the employees.
So how many employees are there?
Roughly 9.
Okay, 9 employees, and it's open 5 days a week or 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
5:30 in the morning till 10 at night, on Monday through Friday.
So it's a big operation.
Yeah, 25,000. I mean, when I say I probably have the largest indoor privately owned facility, the most weights,
What's the location again?
3075 East Flamingo.
And where's that? Flamingo and where?
So Flamingo and like McLeod. So
Okay.
just after Easton, McLeod, right there.
Is that how you say that? Is it
McLeod.
McLeod?
McLeod, yeah.
McLeod, yeah.
So you've had it. So you've had the place for 2 years. I just feel like it's interesting because 25,000. I mean, it's a big operation, really, right? It's not a small thing. I kind of feel like when I was watching on social media, like I knew that you had something going on. I've seen you, but I never realized, I guess, how big of a situation. I mean, even 9 employees, 25,000 feet, 7 days a week, right? So how many do you go in and out because you're also working? Like, how does that work for you?
So I get up roughly around 5 a.m. In my office around 6. I stay in my office, do all my busy work in the morning, get it out of the way. I leave my office around 3. I go to the gym from like 3:15 to around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Go home. And Saturday and Sundays, I don't go to the office. I go to the gym around 10:30. And I have a routine on Saturday, so I'm crazy with like the last 15 years. I get my hair cut at 8 a.m. from the same barber always, so it's kind of our thing.
Routine.
Right,
You
my
sound
routine.
like Dave.
So, and then Sundays, I'm there from 10:30 to 4, and Saturday, the same thing. So, I'm pretty much 7 days a week.
So you got a lot of things going on there. It's awesome. I really commend you for what you do. I feel like in some regards, I mean, I feel like I know about a lot of stuff because I try to, be a resource for everybody. But I definitely did not know, like I said, I've seen you in the gym and video, but I didn't realize how big it is. Definitely like to do things in regards to help you out in regards to it. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to figure it out in general. I was thinking as you were talking that we need to have like a problem solver, like a soccer.
Yeah.
You said you do soccer? Was it
We have a
youth?
well, we have youth. So Metro has this youth team, right? And Lewis, the officer who runs the program,
Okay.
and when you say passion about helping kids, like at-risk youth, this guy is the definition of passion with Metro, right? And came in and he wants to get his kids strengthening and conditioning. So he took these kids literally from having next to no GPA to upwards to 3.5 GPA, right?
That's
At-risk
beautiful.
youth, right? So they bust people. They're a travel team. I think the travel budget is around like $30,000 plus a year, right? I learned all about him today, and he wants to come to movement and utilize movement as their home for strength and conditioning. So we're working on something now, and I'm very excited. I'm going to make it work. Regardless, I'm going to make it work because I want to be a community sponsor for them. I don't just. It's not about bringing in money. It's about sponsoring the youth, the at-risk youth, and it's a great place to be. And if you can give anyone that next, because he's literally taking kids that never thought about college and they get in the college.
absolutely.
Giving them the idea.
I believe he got 12 kids already from when he started the program 3 years ago, college.
That is beautiful.
Since you're talking about kids, I'll just share a real quick story. So I was part of the DARE program in Henderson. So I used to teach for like 2-3 years, the 5th graders, and I would go out to maybe at 3 to 5 schools, depending upon the year. Eventually you get burnt out. Like teachers, I mean, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I was just teaching DARE and I was exhausted at the end of the day mentally, and I was just going, but I will share with you that because Metro was really big with the DARE program, helping kids all throughout town. And then eventually, because of budget wise, they got rid of the program. So in Henderson, right, they found out what Metro was doing. This, we should get rid of the program too. If Vegas Metro's not doing it, like we could stop doing it. I said, look, it's a really good program. Let's do something where it's like less than 50% manpower. So if we were doing 10 classes, let's just do 5 classes, right? So you have 50% more manpower to do other crime prevention stuff from the community policing unit. So I actually had this guy, his name was Retro Bill. You can look him up later, Retro Bill. And he came to town. I did a program, it was called Got Dreams. And at the end I said, why don't we call the program Dreams? And it was like, we tried to come up with an acronym. So at the end I came up with like decisions, responsibilities, education. I think it was I forgot what it was like assessment, motivation, self-esteem, like things like that. So we came up with a program, it was 5 weeks long. Everyone worked together as a team in the community relations unit. We made the Dreams program. I think it's called Dream now, but the program still exists. But to me, it was my idea in general, even though I didn't work on every single lesson, but the concept was to maintain some type of program. So in Henderson, every single 5th grader graduates from the Dream program. And I feel, glad to know that that the program still exists, that 5th graders are getting something out of it. It wasn't just specifically about drugs. It was about like bullying and, other things like that in general. So I think it's great that you have these programs. I also did like the Neighborhood Watch program, but I always feel like you want to expand to the whole town. I mean, it's great. I mean, even though it's hard
Talking
for
about
people.
the community. Yeah.
It's hard to get people maybe to your gym if they're in Henderson further away. But I mean, you open 7 days a week in general. So you're open to helping anybody in the community that needs a place to go or fitness, right? What does it cost per year to join?
So our year paid in full. Our paid in full is $450, like paid in full. So our memberships, we have a month-to-month at $49.95 month-to-month, or for 12 months it's $39.95, or for 24 months it's $34.95. So we're not expensive, but we've never dropped our prices. We're looking to maintain the quality and not quantity. We're not looking for 5,000 people to pay us $10 a month for they can have a horrible experience. We're looking for people that are serious and they care about their health and they want a clean, friendly environment. That's really what we're about. If you guys taught it, like I have, like it's funny, I think your cousin asked you for a 7-day pass. Absolutely. If you're hearing this, we do 7-day passes. So 7-day pass only for locals. So if you're at a gym now and you're looking for a change, we give a 7-day pass. And most of our 7-day passes that are serious, they convert to memberships because they're either at NEOs that's packed and they can't use a machine, or they're at LVC. It's just too busy, right?
It is, yeah.
So we're all about the identity, right? So we have the 10 elements of dignity on our board, and one of the elements of dignity is safety. So safety is big for us. So we have pictures of members. We know who's coming in the door, who scans in, acceptance of identity. It doesn't matter what race, color, religion, how you identify. We're all humans, right? And this is the place for you to come and experience your own self. So it's been amazing growth-wise, and it's been fun and rewarding and frustrating, right? Because you're never ever in the green, and it's going to be a long time before I am, and I'm fine with that 100%. But it's rewarding when every month you have new people coming in and they're thanking you for what we're creating for them, right? And that's been the biggest reward for us.
Life-changing, I'm sure.
So for the Problem Solver Show, we're going to figure out how we can work together. We're going to come down, check it out, and see what we can do, whatever we do to promote it in general, and then we'll figure out maybe some programs or sponsoring as we go from there. I wanted to go back. So I think we covered a lot of the stuff that you're doing with movement fitness, which is great. Is there anything that you want to share specifically, like you're on the show in general, that you want to share? There's other listeners and they'll be out there in general. Anything that you want to share in general about Vegas or what you do, how you help people with special programs?
Yeah, I've traveled, and this is by far my favorite place to be. Like I love Vegas. I've been here 20-something years, and it's a great place. You used to hear like, oh, I don't hear it as much because I don't really associate much with a lot of the people I grew up with. But you say, oh, you live on the Strip, right? And Vegas is more than a Strip. It's just a thriving city, town. I love statistics, stats, right? So we used to be all gambling and tourism, right? Like 100%. Now we're like 60%. Like, so we're growing in other areas, right? Where business communities, sports that want to come here, like dying to come here, NBA, Raiders, like it's just crazy. The Golden Knights that's behind you, and they came, the stuff that they did, the community give back. So this is probably the best place to live. I love it here. I truly do. And one thing I would tell people, like guys, just like you guys, what you guys are doing, spreading the word and really giving back to the community, solving problems. Like we joked before, like not joked, but like when you put that out on the news about the reward, I thought that was one of the greatest things that I know you probably got a little bit of blowback because I know they probably don't want divers or whatever. They don't want to find more whatever bodies, but Lake Mead's going to go down low anyway, and they'll find
them no matter what.
But I just thought just going out there and offering that is truly a testament of you giving back and you truly wanting to solve problems to help this community that you and your wife have lived in for so long.
Yeah, it was interesting in regards to that. Like I said, I'm always trying to be creative. Everyone that we meet with, like even like she bringing up like NAC, and I forgot about that program. Like, we need to get that out there. People just don't know about it. There's so many programs that are out there. I mean, I had a guy that called me yesterday, like he's homeless. I know the guy. I'm like, did you call 201? Did you call United Way? Did you call the places? Now I know he has a little bit of a past, and I feel bad for people. I mean, like we all make mistakes, even if you committed a crime. I do believe that people have second chances and third chances. As long as you stop committing a crime. I mean, I just feel bad that people are homeless, or they tell you the story where they go into the gym and they take a shower because they're on the street and they clean their clothes in the laundry. And I feel bad. I mean, it's a horrible situation. Even if you committed a crime in the past, it's your past. But I feel like, this is your time to turn around to do some good. And I just feel bad for people. So I'm always trying to preach. Even most people, I'm not sure if you know, United Way is 211. You can call from a cell phone or landline. Most people still don't even know about it. So we're always trying to bring different programs to light. And even if we get out one person or 5 people or 10 people, eventually, people are going to share the message, or, this will always be out there as digital real estate. People can find it and go from there. And we're trying to make a difference and do different things. Like, I think I'll be able to get another person to match, the $5,000, and maybe we could capture the guy, in general. So it'll be interesting. But I'm trying to be creative and different, just like I was trying to look for different mortgage programs that were available back in the day,
I was thinking of jumping up and saying I would match it, but I'd rather match your barrel thing, because I find it interesting that what we're finding 30 years later, it's.
Do you want to match the body in the barrel challenge?
See, there you go.
I think what I'll do is I would love to do that one, but
I actually had a law firm that wanted to do it. We didn't.
I'm gonna match Peter.
You gonna match Peter?
I'll take that $5,000 match, and I'll match Peter's $5,000 to find the person who's killing the horses.
Is it for Movement Fitness or Movement Mortgage? Movement Fitness.
No, it's from Derek Parent.
From Derek.
It's
from
from
you.
me.
Okay. So Derek Parent will.
Yeah, it's not
match.
about I don't do stuff for the recognition. I do stuff because I care about my community.
Okay. No, some people want to do through their business, different things in general.
No.
So Derek
I think
Parent
he
will match.
expressed enough that he doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
That you're all about
The truth of the matter is,
community and
I'll
giving
give you an
back.
example. When we did the challenge for us, like for me to know that 4 days later that someone located another body, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I feel very connected to this body. That body would have never been located, I feel, if it wasn't for us putting we did a news release out there, right?
I didn't know that there was a second body found. I heard something, but I didn't see it. Like I'm that guy that wakes up in the morning and
There's so much
while I'm
going on.
getting dressed, I
There's
put the
so
news
much
on.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put the local news on.
So Derek Parent, who is about to feel like, say, social influencer or a local leader. Basically, you are a local leader. You are helping people in general.
Yeah,
So you're going to match the $5,000 to make it $10,000.
I'll match the $5,000 for Peter.
I like it.
I love it.
We got to go out and find the guy.
Yeah.
Engineers are like getting their guns. They're going to get ready. They're going to get their camouflage set up and go out there in general.
That should be
that's
enough to go hunting. I have a Sprinter van. We can park it across and wait with the binoculars.
My only thing is, I keep thinking of it. I just think it's going to be a long time. Like, this guy's not going to be, especially if it's on the news, because the photos are a little bit out there as well.
He's very distinctive walk. Someone knows him. Someone has seen this guy, because that walk is not faked. That's. I don't think it's a kid. I think it's an older person. I think it's elderly. I don't think it's young.
The guy?
Yeah, I think it's someone older. I
Do you
think
think it's something
30s.
personal, like a personal vendetta against the?
I think it's probably mental illness.
Yeah, mental illness is real. I don't know vendetta, sickness, but I don't know why someone would go shoot a wild horse. Right? They're not bothering anyone. They don't do.
But these are the horses that you go and you ride, right? They teach you.
Yeah. You can go out for these like sunset rides. I actually did a dinner out there. It was a sunset ride with horses, and they make steaks out there, and it's kind of a tourist plus locals can go.
Yeah.
Really nice people that I met out there in general. I went out one time years ago. It's just a crazy situation. So anyway, this is what we'll do is we're going to do a news release that basically says from the Problem Solver show, we'll basically add this clip that it's a $10,000 reward. We'll match the $5,000 in regards to an arrest and conviction for the person that has done the shooting, and hopefully we could prevent this person from shooting another animal. Yeah. And it'll be very interesting to just see what happens, because now you're applying you're applying money, pressure to basically capture this guy. Now you're actually changing things.
The problem with yours, I'm afraid it'll bankrupt me. It's probably going to cost me $5 million after they find.
It's not every barrel. It was just.
What was funny, because I got some phone calls that said, "Look, if I come out there with my scuba gear and all that stuff, if I find 10 bodies, I want $50,000." And it was like a weird conversation to have. Like, I didn't even know, I wasn't expecting that conversation. Yeah. And I was like, well, technically right now it's for the next, how many bodies are out there? I don't really know. I mean, I didn't really think that far into it. And the guy's like, I'll do it for $50,000 if I find 10 bodies. But then later on, people technically are out there recreational, and if they find something, and it's a whole other story. We're going to see where that goes. Actually, today, right now, we have this thing called the Plea for Justice. Actually, if you don't mind, real quickly, you haven't seen it, but we should actually play it today. Can you go, the engineers that are here, can you go to www.pleaforjustice.vegas? Let's play it, because Derek hasn't seen it. And I'll just share with you, this Plea for Justice, Danny Miner, who's normally the co-host, not here today. We did this thing called a Plea for Justice. Again, another bit of my crazy concept of telling the bad guy to basically come forward if he's alive, right? He could be 60, 70, 80, 90, he could be in a nursing home and stuff like that in general. So the question is, it's probably one or two different people. And we're asking for the bad guy to come forward because the police never stated, hey, if you committed this crime, please come forward, which sounds crazy. If you committed a homicide, would you come forward, right? But now maybe it's on your conscience. You're 70 years old, you're 80 years old. Maybe you come forward. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not alive. Maybe you don't care anymore, right?
Yeah.
So we made this video. Today, actually, my assistant helping out, we emailed a bunch of media people, like 50 people. And then we sent out an email to 25,000 people that are local with this video. So let's play the video. You tell me what you think.
Hi, I'm Danny Miner. I was a detective in Pennsylvania for 14 years, 27 years police officer total. I'm making a plea for justice today. The victim that was found in the barrel at Lake Mead 2 months ago, his family needs closure. I'm talking about the suspect. I'm talking to you right now, the suspect. You know, it's been 50 years. They're saying the clothes in the barrel were from the 70s or early 80s. It's been 50 years. Please give this family closure. He now has grandkids, great-grandchildren that never seen him. Give them closure. They've probably been hearing this story of this missing grandfather for 50 years. Please, I'm calling for a plea for justice right now. Contact Las Vegas Metro Police and turn yourself in. Please give this family closure.
That's a
It's actually funny when you have an idea and then you see it and then we actually produce it. What are your thoughts about that? Sound crazy or?
no. I think
It's okay to say it sounds crazy.
I think it's amazing. I think because people want the closure. You know, people live with not knowing, and I think
What happened? Yeah.
yeah, you know, some people can put it behind them, and other people just can't. They want closure regardless, and I think that right there would definitely help the family who's never found that loved one that's came up missing. So I think that's another, you know, great thing that
It's
you guys are
definitely
doing.
it's definitely different.
Yeah,
It's definitely
I mean,
an interesting concept.
well, you guys can do that. You can ask for it, right? Like you being a like a guy in service, law enforcement. You got to love. You guys love the community if you guys are doing what you're doing. I mean, so you know, giving back the way you guys are, the way you can do it, like through social. I'm sure Metro would like to come out and play like that, but
I think they probably think it's crazy too. But
that's sincere though. That's sincere and that's honest.
no, I think he did a really good job. He's very, you know, I feel bad because I wanted Danny to be here with you as well. But
It would have been three guys with the Eastern accent.
yeah.
With
So,
the
no, he's-
New York, or sorry.
He's from
East
Pennsylvania,
Coast.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
the East Coast
He's got a great
accent.
personality, and even when he speaks there, he's, you know, it's really compelling in general. You know,
You can hear it.
All right, so last thing that we're gonna do is this before we do the next thing. What I want to do is, because I've always, you know, questioned about the strip. I want to just go back to the strip one more time.
Okay.
I want to name different properties, different places, and I want you to tell me like what your thoughts are from it in general. Like you could say, if I name a property, I want you to say construction defect. You can't buy a place there. It's no good. Like real quick ones, right? So we're gonna do like, it's kind of like a trivia quiz.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is probably what I've always wanted to do with you anyway in general.
I know you torture me sometimes. But
Okay. So I feel bad because I've always messaged you, not like I've done any sales with you, right, to do it. I just feel bad. But
None
now
of
you're on
the-
the show, so it finally
yeah,
paid off, right?
Yeah, we're friends.
Not any of the ones that he mentioned earlier.
Okay, so let's jump around. So real quick, let's start at so downtown, just like, I want to go through all of them, but like Jewel, Newport, all these places, what are your thoughts downtown?
Love them. I love Newport Lofts. I think it's, you know, it's very rare when you see a property come on the market for Newport. As soon as it's on, it's off. Great place. Soho, great place.
Ogden?
I like Ogden. I think Ogden's nice. I think Ogden's real nice. Ogden has great financing, and they led the way for other properties to get financed.
You know, one thing to share with you probably don't know this, no one probably knows this in this room. The shooter from Mandalay Bay, supposedly he was looking to Ogden to be the place because they have that festival down there that the shooting could have taken place downtown. I don't know what spooked him or not. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be downtown, the shooting, but something spooked him. He was inside the place or something, like checking it out. So I don't know the whole story with it, but Ogden was, I know someone that was down there.
Is
so
it
he told me
haunted?
the
Yes
story.
or no?
I don't think so.
So, okay, anything else downtown?
You have Soho, Newport. You know, no.
Okay.
Those are the
So if you like downtown, not a bad investment.
no,
There's not much out there anyway. Nothing else is being built.
no, they just don't last, right? They're just great properties. People that
demand.
they're great properties. People they hold on to them. They're nice.
Okay, moving up, Allure property on the boulevard behind the Souvenir shop.
I think Allures I think they have great amenities, but the HOA doesn't fully fund their budget. So they have a limited, so we financed Allure, but it's limited condo review. So the difference between limited and full, I don't want to get into the big what it is, but it's just a matter of down payment. You have to put more money down because we don't look at the budget. So, but Allure has amazing amenities. It's a beautiful property.
Okay, our next one would be Sky.
I think Sky's nice too. Like Sky, they've done has great views. They've done tremendous amount of work to the units. I think Randy Cha has done an amazing job with being the broker. He had a bunch of units in there for many of years and listed. And I think some are listed now, but they kind of pulled some off the market and waited for the market to get better before they started selling them. But another great broker.
There's I'm not sure if you do you know. I always feel like I'm messing her name up, but Lisa, who did the interior design, she redid it in Sky. She lived over at Veer as well. Interior decorated.
No, so actually the woman who did a lot of Veer, her name is Lola Kay, and she's doing my unit now at Turnberry.
Okay. Because the other girl actually redid Sky, but she lives at Veer now.
Yeah.
But I'll show you a picture later. Okay, so what are your thoughts? Across from Sky, it's supposed to be All Net Arena. Is there going to be an NBA team? Is All Net Arena going to come through?
I hope so. You know, if a couple of people that I would bet on in this town, it would definitely be Stephen Hill at the LVCA. Like they're on team. They know what's going on. They're on top of it, and you know, just every time I listen to him speak, he got Man of the Year a couple years ago with LVGEA. But just to hear guys just like him speak, and I don't know, like just knowing what he's doing at the convention center, I believe we'll have something spectacular.
Do you think it's a bad spot for an NBA team at All Net Arena?
You know, I don't know. I mean,
traffic, parking.
So it's so funny. So you have the Fontainebleau that took up 13-story parking garage, took all of Turnberry Place's views, right? Tower, like,
it's crazy.
Tower 3 and Tower 1 and 4 took all their views, but I don't know if it's big enough. You know, it's funny because I didn't think Allegiant Stadium was going to fit where it was. Like,
it kind of fits perfectly, right?
But scale, like, you don't think like, well, how's it going to fit there? You're thinking like Valley High Golf Course should have been the place for it. But when you look at where it is, like, wow, you can fit it. You know, one of the most interesting things I ever heard, and it was at someone said about the hotels, like, what do we care about parking at Allegiant Stadium? And they said, let the casinos figure it out. They're better with the logistics, right?
That's not true.
If you think about it, they're like, let the properties figure out how to get people in and out, and it works, right?
All right, so you do think All Net Arena will go through?
I believe that we'll have an NBA team here. I believe
we don't know if it's there.
I don't know. Like, I see the property, right? But I just can't imagine the scale that would go there. And quite honestly, this kind of a small road. You only have, it's on Paradise, so Back's Paradise. You'd have to make something on Las Vegas Boulevard because that was where the old Wet n Wild was, right? So just logistically, I don't know. Now, I'm not an engineer, but I think it's, I see it's already graded. It looks like you can see the property, like something's ready to go up there. But I just don't know if it's going to be the arena.
Okay, so further down, what else is down there? We got.
Oh man, you go. So then you have, once you pass Sky, then you start coming on the Martin.
Okay, the Martin.
The Martin's a nice one, and then you have the two panoramas. There's no financing in Panorama.
So Panorama's no financing right now because of HOA defect.
Well, yeah, they're going through structural defects that they've actually. They were supposed to be in court March of 2020, and it got postponed because COVID. So now it's back on the docket to go further. So we'll see once they get out of their.
Is there financing for the Martin?
There is. So
okay.
the Martin, that's a really desirable property.
Why? Because the way it faces.
The way it faces, the attraction, the amenities. They have really good amenities in there too. I don't know if you've seen like their.
I've been to the
gym,
pool there.
Their pool, it's nice. Their pool's nice. It's really to get really nice amenities. Parking is pretty good.
So you're basically at what's the other one? City Center. What do you call it? Videra. I get confused. Videra's condos, right?
But no. So Vidara's mixed use. So
the Vidara. Yes,
is mixed use. So you can buy units in there, but also MGM rents out the units, right? So you can. I believe they do like I don't know. I'm 100%. I think they use it for some timeshare. Okay. Don't forget, you have the Jockey Club, the Polo Club they built Cosmo and everything around it. Right, I would be missing something if I didn't say that Turnberry Place in the Sterling Club is really nice. It's a little older crowd in there, but the Sterling Club, and then right across the street you have the two towers. 222 Karen and 322 Karen, which is the towers that are they're little smaller units on the inside, but they were built a little later, so they're modern. They have great amenities on the inside. Price per square foot, they're really priced well. So, some houses, they're still a little high. And look, when you're a single person, the last thing you need to worry about is a pool, landscaping. That's why I'm attracted to condos, because I had the house and I had to pay a pool guy, something breaks. I don't want to worry about it. I want to use the pool, right? I want to use the pool, but I don't want to I don't want to clean the pool. But so all the amenities, and then
The bachelor pads for all the bachelors out there.
We have to house the bachelors somewhere.
The players.
yeah, it would definitely be like I'll tell you, a beautiful place would be used to be called the Mandarin. Why did I just draw a blank on it? The Waldorf Astoria.
Yes.
Waldorf Astoria.
It's just so
became
expensive,
that.
right? $1 million.
Yeah, like $2 million for like a 1-bedroom. It's super expensive, but
Beautiful.
yeah, a lot
The
of
bar
amenities.
is up there. The Sky Bar is up there, isn't it?
Sky Bar, the Tea Lounge. Then you go further down the strip just a little bit, and you have One Las Vegas. Very nice property. Like another one, like they have a 2-story gym. Great. I don't know why I'm attracted to gyms. I keep bringing up the gym, but they have a really nice amenities, conference room. Like they're nice too, like how it faces. So
Got it.
So that's another great one.
What about the on Flamingo and Colville? What's the smaller?
Flamingo Colville, Signature.
No,
Maria Antoinette. It's right on the corner
no,
of
that's the
Top
old
Golf.
one. No, the other one that's
You're talking about Meridian. It's like it's a 4-story.
across from Meridian. What's over there?
Oh, Park Towers.
What is it called?
Park Towers.
No,
It's 2 towers. Park Towers. They're
that part of
super
it?
expensive. So the most expensive real estate for high rise would be Waldorf. The second would be Park Towers. I was looking in Park Towers, and very nice, very nice. But super. The amenities are amazing in that building too. So there's only 80 units in each building. That's how big, like
Places?
the average
The
unit I think
buildings,
is like
yeah.
the average unit I think is like over 4,000 plus square feet.
The one that's next to Tuscany.
Yeah, that's Park Towers.
Is that Park Towers? No.
Yeah, it's Park Towers. The high rise, the 2 high rise, right?
But it was the small one, right? The Tuscany, and on the corner there's like a gas station,
Paradise.
and it's like
Desert
condo
Inn?
hotel,
No.
Oh, you're talking about Platinum
Platinum.
Hotel. Yeah, no, there's
No,
no.
good?
So again, the opposite word in that one is hotel, right? So it's Platinum. You can buy units in there, like they sell the units, but again, it's really no financing. It's hotels.
I spent 4th of July there about like 5 years ago. Great view.
Yeah.
I like the Platinum.
All right, so last thing, we got Palms Place, good, bad, ugly. Studio one. I always like the one bedroom
I'm
in
gonna
the
say
corner.
all property is beautiful, but as far as financing, no financing.
No financing.
No, it's hard money or private money,
But you really need a 2-bedroom for investment. I really think the 1-bedroom, the corners units are beautiful.
yeah. They're beautiful, but if you're coming in town with your family, are you going to stay in a 1-bedroom, or are you going to pay up, a couple $100 more and have,
Got it.
so
Last one is Trump.
yeah, that's another one. Like I've been in the lobby, I've been in a unit, but the issue with Trump is I cannot get a condo questionnaire. So the only way that they'll release it, like most places, if I pay for it, they'll send it. But Trump, you have to go into contract, and the problem is we don't get contracts on Trump. So financing right now, I would say we're not financing Trump right now. But we'd like to take a stab at it, to be honest with you.
Got it. Okay. I'm sorry to go so long, but I wanted to get that with you. But I think it's good for people to hear if they like the high rises, the strip, financing, no financing in general. But I'm glad I kind of got it all out in general. I think that's pretty much all of them in general. MGM Signature. I guess every property is different. If financing changes, HOA construction defects, I think you got to just be careful. But I guess the key is people can call you if they.
Well, what most people don't know, like Lake Las Vegas has 2 high rises out there on Montelago, and they allow Airbnb, and we finance those.
Are both allow Airbnb?
Yeah, we don't. People think, because they have Airbnb or there's rental. It's just such a like I have to talk all the time with realtors. They think condos are difficult to do, and they're really not. They think if someone is renting out their units, if there's more renters in there, that they can't get financing. It's called single entity. If one building is controlled by single entity, so one person owning more than 25%. it deems it unlendable. What happens if they don't pay the HOA? Then you have default and you're not paying things, right? So it's not how many people are renting in there. It's how many people control one, single entity use. And then you have the project out in Summerlin, which is one Summerlin?
Las Vegas?
Yeah, no, the one Summerlin, the real higher end one over by Sunset, not Sunset.
I know what you're talking about. I've never been into it.
Yeah, that's nice. I've been in there a couple of times. They're really nice, big units, real nice.
So bottom line is, if someone wants to buy a place, you have definitely a lot of knowledge. So if they're looking to live in a high rise or anywhere, they can get with you to find out different financing in regards to the mortgages. You're with Movement Mortgage. You also got Movement Fitness, where you're helping people in general. Commend you for all your efforts in regards to that. I really do appreciate. It's actually be very interesting. I'm glad that it's funny that you're matching the $5,000, which is great, because this is live. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be filming for TV real quick, and that will come out Tuesday. And we're going to we're basically making a history in regards to Vegas, that this will always be out there.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens if they actually catch the guy, if the money makes a difference. So it's kind of fun to. That's why I'm always looking for different strategies. I was actually contemplating at the same time whether we should do it. I feel like we've done so much that it's already like diluted of the things that we're doing, and
Well, you've got to let others come in too. And,
well, I
do
kind
their part.
of feel like if I keep doing something, like it's just like, oh, it's the problem solver again. Like these guys keep just offering money or doing things in general. So I feel like the media may not even pick it up, but I think it's great for you coming on the show and then you matching, which is great. And then the goal is to, who knows,
Catch the guy.
We're gonna have people out there like hunting for this guy now.
Just watching out. I mean, people will get creative. Technology.
You can Google search.
I mean,
Even the gunshot thing that you were just talking about.
I was telling someone, like, no BS. The most lethal weapon, I believe, is your cell phone. Mm-hmm. You can shoot something off and offend someone in a second, or you can take a picture in a sec. You can do so much, and just grabbing this thing. This causes just as much damage sometimes with reputation and certain things that people do on this. That
everything.
Yeah. So I mean. But they'll figure out a way to apprehend them, and hopefully it's soon. Hopefully we, the people and get justice. Peter gets justice, and the owners of those horses, or everyone out there.
Well, it's a good point. I mean, the goal is this guy could also, kill someone else, and he's got a firearm. And sometimes with mental illness, as it gets worse, he could actually turn on another person or someone that's even out there.
This would be a question for you. Like, so some of the serial killers, didn't they start off with like animals,
like
yeah.
Pets, so they start with the
a
animals.
lot of them do, yes.
And then they get away with it, and then,
pornography, actually.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of them, interviewing them, it starts with pulling hair, spanking, whatever, and then it gets more serious. If a lot of the interviews with the serial killers, specifically, targeted towards women, starts with pornography.
Beja actually specializes with the serial kill division of the problem solver. So she's like an expert in that, so we kind of leave that to her. All right, so here's the story. Beja, thank you so much for co-hosting. You're always amazing and sharing and asking questions. So thank you so much. Derek, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll see what's going to happen in regards to this, what we started here again. We're kind of changing things up for history. And
the movement.
This is the movement.
I think everything that we're doing is great.
Today we actually have now the movement to catch the killer who's killing horses at $10,000. We did a history today here on the Problem Solver Show. So thanks so much, Derek. And
that too, but even just your movement fitness.
You got a lot of things going on. Everything's movement
for the youth, for the
horses, for the horses now.
It changed my,
for the community. It's so great.
It changed my life too, because I stay in shape. Like I have no excuses not to.
You probably can lose a few pounds. No, I can lose a few pounds. So I know you're doing awesome stuff, which is great.
Right now.
All right. So anyway, every single week on the Problem Solver, great people like Derek Parent, again, Movement Fitness, Movement Mortgage. If anyone has any type of tips, they can call Crime Stoppers in regards to the whole horse situation in general like that, 385-5555. If you want to contact myself with the Problem Solver, it's 702-999-1111. You want to call the police, it's 911. There'll be a QR code for the problemsolver.vegas as well that's on the screen, that if you want to add our Progressive app to your phone, anything that we can do to help solve a problem and help you, please reach out to us. We'll see you next week, Thursday at 4:30. Have a good week. Be safe.